Hey, I like this topic. It's a controversial one. It has to do with college and a guy building his business. So I'm just going to summarize it for you, but I'm going to have to look at my paper here a couple of times to remember all the questions within the question. So the gist of the question is that we've got this guy. He owns a company right now, but he doesn't have enough properties to hire full-time employees. He needs to be out there doing the work. He needs some of the money. He's going to go to college. He and I apparently at some point in the past had talked about whether or not he should go, and I have no idea what I told him, but he referenced that we had this conversation. Regardless of whatever advice I gave him, he's going to go to college, which is cool. And so the other neat thing is he's really gung-ho on sales, marketing, finance, things of that sort, less gung-ho on doing the work, which is cool because that mindset is the one that you need to build the company. A lot of individuals, and I totally get it, love doing the work of the business, like the installs and the maintenance and things of that sort, but they don't love any of the office stuff. That's fine. We're all different, doesn't matter, but he has a bit of an advantage in that he loves that other stuff because the other stuff is what builds a company. Doing great work helps build a company, but that does not build a company. Building a company is the marketing, sales, finance, all that. And then also those skills that he learns building this business will serve him in his second, third business, whatever else might come in his future. So his question is, how should he do this? Should he get an investor? Should he get a loan? What should he do? And so this is where we get to my controversial opinions. I got a college degree, just want to put that out there again. I've said that before, even when I'm kind of negative on college. My advice, by the way, is not going to be not to go to college. That's not where I'm going here. My advice is going to be maybe we take a semester off, maybe we slow it down, and I'll speak to that in just a moment. The other thing I'd say is when I went to college, I did it over 5 years, and I took a lot of classes at night and a lot of classes on the weekends, at least the ones I could get. I also worked a full-time job at a software company, and I had to travel for that software company, not all the time, but some. And then for a period of time, I also continued mowing my 8 or 9 most profitable jobs on Saturday. So I had got out of the lawn care business. My allergies were killing me. I was burned out. I didn't want to do it anymore. Even though it was making me really good money, I got out of it, actually took a job that paid me less than I was making in the software world, less than I was making mowing lawns as a kid, but I kept these lawns on Saturdays for some period of time. I did all of that at the same time. I worked my butt off. I was exhausted, but I did it. And so I would say you're at a place where you're building your future. So go all in. Go, as my son says, go 10x. And you know, like go all in and like do whatever you got to do to knock this thing out, to build the business. Like just be uber productive, uber aggressive, like whatever you have to do, make it happen because you're setting up the rest of your life. So one, go for it in a major way. Like get as much done all at one time as you possibly can. And then two, if you need this money to live on, there is no, as I like to say, magic solution. If you need the money, then you are either going to have to do the work yourself, or your alternative is you hire somebody to do the work and you don't make any money. And you look at it as an investment in the future, but you might need the money to live, and I get that. So there's no shortcut here. Your only option is to grow this thing. And that's where we get to my advice of, one, you go a little bit slower with school. So instead of knocking out school in 4 years, you're gonna knock out school in 5 or 6. That sucks, I agree. But it wouldn't suck if it takes you 5 or 6 years to get through school and you're taking home 100 grand a year when you graduate college from your business. That doesn't suck. Or maybe even more. Plus you've got net worth. You've developed something, if you build it correctly, that you can sell. That's pretty awesome. Most grads don't make that kind of money coming out of school. They don't have anything that provides some, like an increased level of net worth, anything they can sell. So the idea of taking an extra year or two to get out of school, but you exit with all that stuff done, again, who cares? Awesome. So you could slow things down. Another idea, which I think I might lean towards a little bit more, is since you're into marketing, you're into SEO, you're into finance, you work your ass off to get a lot of this stuff done in the off months, the winter months, anytime you have you have time, and in advance of the spring selling season. So in advance of next year's spring selling season, you're getting all those things done now. And then next season, you take off the first semester of college. Again, I understand that a lot of people say, oh my gosh, that's terrible advice because then you may not go back to college. I'm guessing you're sort of not the average person. You're gonna go to college, you're gonna build this business. Like, you're not the average person, you'll go back to school. Yeah, a lot of average people wouldn't go back to school, but that's not you. So I'm not as worried about that in this scenario. So what if you could have everything prepped and ready to go, and you, at the spring season, you take off this one time, you take off this semester, and you go out there and do whatever it takes to get this business up to 100, 150 accounts. You find a couple people that you can put in place to do the work, and then you build the business. Like now you've given it to them, you're out of the field. And now you built the business big enough in that spring season you took off from school. And once that's done, you go back to school, and now you're running the office. I know of a guy, I actually know of several, I know of a number of people because of Service Autopilot that have built their entire companies while they did other things. And I know of a guy that was a PA that built his whole company. I assume he was making really good money doing that, but he did his entire lawn care company on the side, and eventually he went off and now he's doing just the lawn care company, I believe. I know of another guy up in Detroit that is working at a job that pays him a whole lot of money. He's a young guy in his 20s, and he's building this entire company on the side. And I could just go down the list of people I know that have done that. It's a totally doable strategy. You just need a little bit of time here to get the thing kick-started, and that's my suggestion. Spring semester, take it off, go crazy, build this thing, go back to school, stick with school, and then you can run the whole thing from while you're going to school. You can do all that other stuff, and you don't got to be back out in the field. So that's how I would think about solving this problem. I just don't know of any other way, any magical way. If somebody else has great advice for you, you didn't give me your name, but if anybody else has advice for the person asking this question, if you'll put your responses down in the comments below this video, it'll probably help somebody else, because this is not a unique challenge to you. There's a lot of other people out there trying to go to school and build their business all at the same time. And so anybody's suggestions, advice, maybe you went through this, somebody else, watching this, you went through the same challenge, how'd you do it? That'd be awesome. Good luck.